friends, welcome and welcome back to your girls channel. I am Surya, and currently, and by the way, this will be full of spoilers. Okay, I'm over here watching the series finale of You. But yeah, I'm watching the series finale of You, and right now I am on the second episode. And if you've been watching, you already know, like I said, this is full of spoilers. Episode 1, Joe and his new super rich wife, they moved to New York, right? New York. Oh yeah. Where her family is, and we know it's a half black brother that the daddy had with the maid. The one younger sister that is like the party girl. And then the sister that's married to the NFL trophy husband, right? Child. Listen, the first episode, and the wife is rich, so she went and she covered all this mess up, right? That Joe did, that Love did, because remember, Joe couldn't come back to the States, okay? Also, Joe out here being a tiger, that is not changing his stripes. He said in the beginning of the first episode, I never thought I'd be able to come to New York, and I see what they're doing. Starting in New York, and we ending in New York. And I have some theories about how the season is going to end, but I'm going to keep that to myself. But yeah, so we see that Joe was like, oh, I'm going to be done with my old ways, over there writing fantasy M-wording, stories, right? Because remember, sorry y'all, I know I'm all over the place right now, but remember how I said the wife covered all that stuff up, right? And there was some stuff that she did where it's like, what did they say? It was some pipeline project she was working on, and all these kids got cancer because of it. And, so covering that stuff up with Joe. But, the one uncle, because the daddy died, I don't know what happened with the mama yet. I don't know if we know what happened with the mom, if the mom died. Or she's going to pop up. But, the daddy died, left, the fortune, the company, all that to Joe's wife. What is her name? Is it Kate? Damn, I don't know what her name is. Anyways, left all that to her, right? But then, the uncle somehow found out what she did, right? And was threatening to do, not threatening, but was about to have a hit piece release. And we found that out because the half-brother done asked, I guess, I don't know what he does. He's like the chief of staff or something. But someone told him about it, then he told Joe about it. Joe tried to not tell her, ended up telling her when it got to a certain point. And then, she was all on this, I want Joe to be on the straight and narrow. Child. She had Joe off that uncle the second she could, right? So now at the end of the first episode, right, we got Henry. Oh, that's another thing. Excuse me. They got Henry back. So remember at the end of Joe's season with Love, which this season is making me want to go and watch it back because y'all keep bringing up my girl's name. And y'all, I'm not even kidding you. Why do I want like Love to somehow mysteriously come back, somehow mysteriously did not go in that fire, but anyways, I'm sorry y'all, that got me so hyped. But yeah, so remember, Love died, Joe went away, and then Joe gave the baby to that couple, those two nice men. One was blind, one wasn't. Very nice couple. Remember, Joe gave the baby to them. But wifey, Joe's wife, also went and got the baby from them. And so now they're raising Henry. And Henry is looking like he about... Henry looks like he's like 8 or 9. Okay, yeah, it has to be like 8 or 9, right? Let's say a solid 8. Henry done got suspended at school now in this last episode of the episode 1, for punching his cousin, technically, in the face. The daughter of the stuck-up sister that wants Joe's wife's place in the company, the one with the NFL trophy husband, punched a little girl in the face, in the nose, because she went and told the little boy and was going around saying that his real mama is an M-worder. Okay, Miss Love. Okay, but what he don't know is that his daddy an M-worder too. And how about you want to bet the little boy gonna become an M-worder? I can't. Oh, all right. So right now they're dealing with all that. And, the sister is relentless. She's threatening to press charges. And they find that out from the school's principal or whatever. Because obviously they called. And because the police came. Right? And they're like, she has a right to press charges, X, Y, and Z. So right now, currently in episode 2, Joe's wife decides that she wants to have a dinner and invite the sister Reagan, that's what her name is, the sister Reagan and her husband Harrison over so they can talk about what happened, so that way she doesn't continue to slander his name. I mean, her name and, everything like that. But then upon arrival, we see not only is Reagan and her husband there, and mind you, there's no kids at the dinner. Or I guess Henry was probably upstairs, because when Reagan came without the daughter, she was like, oh, we were hoping to see her, because Henry wanted to apologize. She was like, no, she's at home recovering. She's been traumatized. She can talk to him after her rhinoplasty. I said, not after her rhinoplasty. I'm sure the little girl would have gotten one, but definitely not in these circumstances, because listen, little Henry was dead wrong, okay? And also, too, Joe is picking up on little Henry being this way, the ways of Joe and Love. But he's like, no, I'm going to protect his innocence. He's trying to think the best about it, right? And then it's also showing the flashbacks because, Joe M-worded his daddy because his dad was his dad had the mom in a DV situation and was hitting on her. And then, Joe took the and boom, daddy gone. I don't know if it was daddy or stepdaddy, but Joe had that happen when he was about his son's age. So she wants to preserve his son's innocence. So anyways, they're at the dinner, right? And so, yeah, Reagan and her husband come, but then she also invites the younger sister and her boy toy of the moment, right? And y'all, that's happening. And Kate's like, oh, well, it's always lovely to see you. But I was only expecting Harrison and Reagan. And Reagan was like, oh, she's here for support. And then you see the half-brother come down, half-brother here for support too, right? And then, and also too, before they come, Kate says to Joe, she's like, we're going to basically handle this by charming her. We're going to be very gracious, whatever. Fast forward to the dinner. She was like, listen, I think that we've all it's been a lot of tension. Joe said that's why they only see the family for Thanksgiving dinner and funeral dinners. But yeah, Kate says, I know there's been I hope that's what the wife's name is. I know there's been a lot of tension, but I feel like we should all go on a family vacation for a couple of days to the Hamptons. I said, it's finna be bodies on bodies. Oh, man. Are y'all watching You? I just have a question. Are y'all watching You? I know the only thing I've talked about so far is reality TV, but boy, Joe is up to his antics. We got the son involved. Oh, can we talk about the girl at the bookstore? First of all, I can already tell that he's going to start messing around with the girl in the bookstore. And she looks like she going to find out about Joe because, she was already up there picking the lock to his secret, his little secret cave or whatever in Mr. Mooney's bookstore because, with them moving back to New York, Kate bought the building that Mr. Mooney's bookstore is in. There's a girl who's like young, homeless, or no, just got out of a breakup. You know, she's like erratic yet cute, and they're flirting a little bit. He catches her in the bookstore, like reading a book or something, and she's like, oh, you know, there's all these books here, I feel bad for them. And long story short, he ends up letting her work in the bookstore / live in it. But recently, the last thing we saw is that he just gave her a promotion, not a promotion, but he gave her like a $8 or $5 raise or something like that, so that way she can go and get her own apartment and not be living in the bookstore. Because the bookstore is, you know, where Joe's gonna go to, you know, clean up and, you know, whatever. But then I also feel like it's low-key gonna be good that she's there, because that's gonna be his alibi too if he were to ever get caught up in something. But yeah. Ooh, family trip to the Hamptons. Let's go. Y'all, the sister, she's like, I can't be bribed by trips. She said, first of all, I want apologies for y'all being failures of parents. And Henry can't go back to that school because clearly he got special needs. Joe says, oh, needs? Oh, yeah. She says, yeah, needs. Because he was abandoned and snatched out of his good home, put into your home. Oh, yeah, he should have been in therapy. And you could tell that Joe was finna snap. But then you see, what's her name? Kate, she's like, I apologize. Okay, I just wanted to say that real quick because, y'all, I'm so excited. A part of me is like, I'm mad that this is the finale, but I know they're about to show out. Girl, your curiosity killed the cat head. So y'all remember the quirky girl I told you that he hired to work in the bookstore? So I don't remember if it was the first episode or this episode, but she sat there. He told her, don't go in there. Don't go in there. What does she do? Finds a YouTube video to learn how to pick a lock, right? Learns how to pick the lock, right? Doesn't go in there just yet, right? But mind you, she had been breaking in the bookstore, coming in to look at the books. So what she did, and I'm sure she has a key at this point too. So what she does just now is, we see her, she got all the lights off in the bookstore. She got the phone on, the flash on her phone. She go downstairs and she finds Joe's secret lair, right? But it was actually, and at first I was like, oh crap. And she was like, oh crap. She's like, this is the Mecca. But what I didn't realize, because I don't know if it's always been like this, but probably not. But I noticed that he had bookshelves in there. So she's like, this is the Mecca. So she's taking all these pictures. So it must have been all these really nice books. So now she goes in there. It shuts behind her. It's locked. There's no service. She's trying to get out. She's freaking out. And I'm like, girl, he told you to not go in, girl. And it's like one of those things, her just being just weird and innocent. Just, you know, thinking that, oh, you know, it's just this cool book, whatever, not knowing that he's in a crazy M-worder in a constant state of like limerence almost. Well, not really, because it has been mutual and with love. Anyways, we can talk about the other seasons later. But yeah. But girl. And then I feel like I have a hunch that when he does discover her, it's going to be when he's going down there to clean up somebody or something, or take somebody down there. And we see him about to apologize at the dinner. And Reagan was like, sis, Kate, because Kate was the first to apologize. She was like, girl, that's all right. It was an okay apology. Let me see what Joe has. And you know how he does, like, his dialogue. He was like, apologize or like watch me like embarrass myself in front of the whole family. And it's like, answer 2 for 3,000. Thank you. Y'all, okay, so Joe sits there and he apologizes. Like, I take full responsibilities for my son's actions. I'm a failure, da-da-da-da. And Reagan goes, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Something's off. I don't believe you. And to be fair, she's right. Something is off. It's her discernment. So to be fair, baby, she is right. That man is off. off his mother-loving rocker, right? So he was like, well, excuse me, the only reason why this happened is because your 8-year-old said that because you were gossiping about my late wife being an M-worder in front of, in front of your 8-year-old. And Reagan said, oh no. Oh no. I was talking about Love Quinn. I wasn't talking about Love Quinn. I was talking about Katie. I said, what? And then she goes, I think you had Uncle Bob Cade. And I said, and the plot thickens. Y'all, when I say the plot thickens, I mean the plot thickens. So, yeah. Y'all, are y'all watching You? Get into it. And so now Reagan's like, well, Daddy always loved you. How whenever one of the friends got in his way, they just magically disappeared. So it's like, hold up. Katie been M-wording too now. Wait, hold up now. Hold. Family tea is being spilled here. And it's crazy because and then Reagan was like, oh, and what did he say? And I think the other sister's name is Maddie. And what did he say, Maddie? Daddy always loved Katie because of her K-word instincts. And y'all, why is Joe getting turned on? Like, you see him, eyebrows right. He's intrigued. He feels some dopamine rushing through him. Y'all, tea is getting spilled. Let me continue this episode. Last thing, but I am tweaking, y'all. So then, right? 1 second. Somebody threw a baseball. 1 second. There's some kids next door. They're playing, and one of their baseballs just went over the fence, and I just threw it back over. You're welcome. And I just gave it back to them. So, yeah, y'all. So now, when, Reagan's confronting them about M-wording Uncle Bob, right? And then the brother, right? Half-black brother. Okay, sorry, just brother. But, that's like distinct. He was the brother that the dad had with the maid, right? He's there to vouch for Kate. He's like, oh, no, I know for a fact that you as the one is acting like you have the highest IQ is actually being the most stupid because I saw the footage. And Joe was like, he's lying because obviously we know it was Joe who did the deed. Right? So, yeah. So I wonder if he's going to just kind of ignore it. Or if he's going to confront Kate about it, but when, everybody gets done talking. But y'all, let me watch this for the next 5 minutes at least, and then I'll come back to y'all. This is so good. Whoa, y'all. Oh my gosh. So Reagan's sitting there, and she's just going, and she was like, I don't know what he had on you, but I'm going to find out. I'm coming for you. Because she's asked Kate to step down as CEO because Kate was like, what do you want? She's like, I want you to step down. I'm coming for your job. I'm coming for your son, your pathetic family, and just start saying all this stuff. And next thing you know, you see Henry come in and throw a butter knife at Reagan. And he's like, stop. Y'all. Okay, Joe Jr. Joe Jr. Okay, call him LaJove. Call him LaJove. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is off the chain. They knew they had to come correct with this finale, y'all. They knew they had to come correct. Oh, shut up, Joe, and stop projecting. So Kate and Joe are in the kitchen talking about what they're going to do. He suggests, should I talk to Reagan like how I talked to Bob? And she's like, no, we cannot be out here M-wording everybody that's suspicious of us, right? And then she's like, where does it end? I'm like, ooh, I see what she did there. And then she brings up, and she's like, and I do think that Henry needs therapy. And he's like, therapy? He doesn't need therapy. What are you trying to say? And she's like, we have violence on all sides of our family. And he was like, well, he didn't get it from you, so you're trying to say he inherited it from me. It happens when kids get abandoned by people they love. And it's like, shut up, Joe, because you and Love are out M-wording crazy trait. Okay. Yeah. So they obviously didn't come to disagreement because this is just, they're still talking. But Joe, please, you don't want that little boy to say too much. That's what it is. Y'all, I just finished watching the second episode, and oh my goodness, so long story short, I knew I saw the Reagan's husband giving Maddie a look at the dinner table, right? Long story short, we see Joe go to M-word Reagan, right? But as soon as he's about to get her, there's somebody else about to quote unquote kidnap her, right? So then when that guy leaves, right? Harrison, who really turned out to be the quote unquote kidnapper, leaves. He goes into like the closet. Joe goes, locks the door. He kidnaps Reagan, takes her to the lair, right? And just fast forward, y'all. It's not really Reagan. It's Maddie, the other twin. I knew it. So Maddie and Harrison are in an affair, because then the next day we see Reagan FaceTiming with Kate about how they're going to press charges. And Joe's like, oh, snap, I got the wrong twin. Right? And then also, too, he ends up hiring back the quirky assistant. From the bookstore. Gives her an apartment that's like in the same building as a bookstore. And she's like, listen, just to be real, I don't sleep with married men. And I read that book Cage by the couple who survived Joe when the season with him and Love. And she was like, and your ex put them in a cage. Did she get the idea from you? And then he was like, no, like she was just some evil woman who used my childhood trauma against me. I said, ooh, not you gaslighting her, Joe. And yeah. And that's where we left off the second episode, y'all. It is so good. But I think that's it. We have oh my goodness. I'll see how the next 2 episodes go. But this is like my first initial reaction. And y'all, are y'all watching You? Let me know. Anyways, I'll see you soon. Bye.